Hey guys, welcome to this Traxxas X-MAXX video where I'm going to show you how to give it a better top speed just by changing the gear ratio. Now to do this we need to change the motor pinion and the spur gear. So I've tried to get you in here as best I can. Okay, first thing we're going to focus on is removing the spur and pinion cover. It's held down with two screws which are here and here. The cover then lifts out like so. This gives us full access to the motor pinion gear and then the spur gear attached to the drivetrain and differential. To remove the spur gear there are 4 screws, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The grey cover there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So once you've undone the screws just pull the cover off. And that gives us full access to the spur gear and clutch assembly. Like so. So we're replacing this part and that part. So first things first, just undo the 3 screws holding the spur gear onto the slipper clutch. All of the parts you actually need come in the pack with the truck itself. Once you undo the screws it'll just pop off completely and that's it, that's the part we're replacing. Keep this as it is here. So the part I'm using is this one, it's from the X-01, 50 tooth, 1 metric pitch, 6448 is the part number. So you can see they mesh perfectly there. It's the same metric pitch. That's the 50 tooth here, and this is the 54 tooth stock. Okay, once that's fitted, we're done with this for now. Next thing we want to do then is remove the motor. Now the motor is held in with 4 screws underneath, and first of all we need to detach the motor poles here. White, black and blue, just remove those. The heatsink will also need to kind of come off to make it easy for yourself, but do that once you remove the motor. I'm trying to keep the same camera angles for you guys, so the next thing we need to do, like I said, is take this motor out. There's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear the motor's loose there. Just be careful to hold it. That's what I'm doing with my right hand here. Okay, now the motor is completely loose. Take the cooler off. Just put it aside, then the motor is obviously free. You can see there it's a 15 tooth M1. It says on it. We're replacing that with a HPI 22 tooth. Again, 1M, so mod 1. 5mm shaft. Remember, increasing the teeth on the motor pinion means the motor needs to rotate less to give you more top speed. The same applies to the spur gear. The bigger this gets, the slower the spur gear will turn, but it's slower for the transmission. So the smaller this gets, the quicker your truck will get because it's having to turn less to turn the 4-wheel drive. So it works in reverse. Right then, so on the bottom of the motor we have this kind of grid system, these little pinholes. This correlates to a little map that Traxxas have given you here. I'll bring you in close and we'll explain what we're going to do. It's quite simple actually. Alright then, so as you can see there, there's a little map, like a table system. It's labelled from A to I, and under A to I in the centre there you've got the pinion and spur kind of references. So as you can see, there's 2 silver pins at the top in the C holes. Now C correlates to 1554, which is what we were running as stock. So that means if you're running any of those setups, you'd put the pins in the C holes. The motor mount on the bottom of the motor would then line up with those pins and give you the correct meshing for that particular setup, which is a brilliant idea. So we're looking for 2250. So that's under I, bottom right there. It says I 2250, so we need to put the 2 pins in the I holes, and then the motor mount will mesh perfectly with the spur gear we've selected. Okay, and as you can see at the bottom left and the bottom right, I've put them into the I pinholes. You can also see the temperature sensor there on the heatsink. So it's about a third, or just under a third, maybe a fifth wider. So I'm just using my finger there just to hold this in place where the cover would hold it, and that meshing seems to be quite just about right, I would have thought. Let's put it all back together and give it a go. So last screw just holding this cover down. Let's connect the motor back together. Make sure the motor's seated correctly on those little pins. Just put the heatsink back on. Nice solid click there. So it lines it up for you, which is really, really good, really convenient. Alright, so let's turn this over then. Let's put the spur and pinion cover back on as well. And in theory that is it done. So let's have a little look and see how it runs. Let's see how she sounds. Not bad at all. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the running video, and see you later.